My name's Willie Gilder and I have early stage Alzheimer disease. So what does that mean? Well, it means I've got an organic disease of my brain. Wasn't inherited, only about 1% of Alzheimer disease is inherited. Somehow it's occurred spontaneously within my head, that there have been a misfolding of proteins, and that means some of the neurons inside my head have started to die. Now, in my particular case, the neurons that have died have been in my parietal lobes. Those are areas here and here above the ears. Generally, people with Alzheimer's disease are affected in the hippocampus, which is the back of the head. That's where memories are stored, but that's not how it works with me, and not how it works with numbers of people with disease, actually, that don't necessarily have problems with the hippocampus. So my memory isn't going. I have some problems remembering the names of new places, of new people, but I can remember perfectly well what happened last week, or who the Prime Minister is, or the President, or what countries are around the world. I'm affected in terms of my eyesight, in terms of find it a little bit harder to do calculations than I used to. Sometimes my balance is affected and I get dizzy spells, that sort of thing. In terms of eyesight, all the time I see in my left field of vision a grey blob. It kind of feels like it's at 4 o'clock in my left eye, like I've got a smudge on my glasses, but it's not really there. I'm seeing things which don't exist, and that's a strange idea to get your head around, really. It's generated within my brain rather than within my eyesight. And if I look at things like showers, toilets, wash basins, shiny white reflective substances, I strangely see them as covered in thousands and thousands of light grey hair. The illusion is so great that before now, when this first happened, I was bending down to brush these hairs off the shower, but they're not really there. Again, generated within my brain rather than actually there. And that's one of the things about Alzheimer's disease that everybody says. I think probably if you stop people in the street and say, what does Alzheimer mean? They'll talk about memory. Well, some people with Alzheimer's disease have memory issues. Probably in time I will get them as the atrophy within my head gets worse. That could well affect me, but not everybody has memory issues. A lot of people with Alzheimer's disease, though, possibly the majority, have sensory issues, problems of eyesight, maybe problems of a sense of smell or taste or touch or strange sensations. It's all because the brain is being affected organically. And I think it's one thing we'd really like to get across, those of us with dementia and with Alzheimer's disease. We'd like to say to you, this is a disease, it's an illness. We haven't done anything wrong to get this. It's occurred spontaneously. Hasn't occurred genetically, probably, because only about 1% of Alzheimer's disease is passed genetically. It just is, and it will get worse. And it's a disease, it's an illness, and it should be treated like an illness. We should have the same sort of parity of treatment as other people with other terminal illnesses. We're being told we have a disease from which we will eventually die. I don't know when that will be. I don't know whether my disease will get a whole lot worse. And if and when it does, how quickly that will happen. It could be that in a year I'm much like how I am now. It could be in a year I'm worse than I am now. Currently, we have no way of knowing that. We can see inside people's brains using things like CT scans, but it's very difficult at the moment to assess how much a disease will progress and how fast. And so people in this condition live with a great deal of uncertainty. It means I really want to get on and change the world, because we don't know what tomorrow is going to hold for us. So I want to present to you a series of notions about how we can change how we think about dementia. I don't like the word dementia. because that implies demented, and I don't think I'm demented except when I'm really cross. I like telling people I have a brain disease. If you say you have dementia, they don't know quite how to react to it. Say you have a brain disease, they go, oh, you poor thing, that must be awful. But anyway, I think we need to rethink how we treat people with dementia. We're not all gaga. We're not all ready to sit in the PVC chairs and listen to Vera Lynn. I don't even like Vera Lynn. I hate PVC chairs. We've got a lot to offer. People with dementia laugh and joke and write poetry and write plays and paint and write books and have fun and do lots of gardening, and we're just ordinary people who've got a disease, just like other people with disease. It's time to change how we think.